Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about the summary of the Joy Lab Club. So first of all, we have to bear in mind that the novel contains 4 sections. It's beginning with a vignette describing a stage in the life cycle, and the 4 stories in each section explore the relationship between the mothers and their daughters at the same stage. So I'm going to explain each section. We have the first one, and this series of stories focuses on Su Juanhu. Yes, she was part of the Joy Lab Club. So she lives in China, specifically in Shanghai. She has 2 daughters, 2 twin daughters. They have twin daughters, sorry. But because of the war, she has to escape from China and leave her daughters. She moves to San Francisco and she settled there. She remarried and has a daughter. Who also is known as June. So Su Juanhu starts a Joy Lab Club similar to one in China with 3 other women, and the 4 form strong relationships. As Jin Mei grows up, Jin Mei and her mother struggle to understand one another. They never completely resolve their differences, and Su Juan dies unexpectedly. At the next meeting of the Joy Lab Club, her mother's friends tell Jin Mei that Su Juan's twin daughters have been found. So they give her a check so she can visit them. So as the novel ends, Jin Mei could meet her sisters in Shanghai. In the second section, we have the stories of Anne Mei. Anne Mei lives with her grandmother because her mother has been disowned. When Anne Mei is 9, her grandmother dies, and Anne Mei lives with her mother to live in the home of a wealthy man and his other wives. Anne Mei learns how her mother was forced into a dishonorable second marriage and why she has no control over her own life. Her mother's subsequent suicide provides Anne Mei a better life. So Anne Mei changes her life. She comes to San Francisco, and she and her husband have 7 children, including Rose. Rose marries Ted, who is a dermatologist. He has an affair and divorces her. Rose is overwhelmed, but after a while, after a period, she recovers. In the third section, the third series of stories focuses on Lindo. She marries Tianyu when she is 15, but he never sleeps with her. And why she married at that age? Because her mother makes a promise that her daughter will marry at that age. Unable to tell her domineering mother-in-law the truth, Lindo devises a clever plan and is released from her marriage honorably. She comes to San Francisco and marries Dean John. Dean John and Lindo have three children, Winston, Vincent, and Waverly, two men and one daughter. Waverly is a prodigy. She and her mother maneuver through their differences throughout her childhood and into adulthood. Their differences climax over Waverly's fiance, Rich Shields. Rich Fields uh, is Waverly's husband. But at the end of the story, she both women reconciled. They could talk about their problems and finally they could solve it. In the fourth section, the fourth series of stories, we focuses on Jin Jin. She was born into a wealthy family. When she was a child, she was very spirited, who nearly drowns when she is bored. She grows into a haughty young woman and marries a cute man who abandons her after she becomes pregnant. 10 years later, she marries Clifford Saint Clair, who is an American exporter, even though she doesn't love him. They come to San Francisco and have one daughter, Lena. Their second child is stillborn, and Gigi is depressed for months afterward. Her depression affects Lena. As an adult, Lena marries Harold Libney, who takes advantage of her. Gigi feels responsible for raising so powerless a daughter. Gigi wants to encourage Lena to speak up for herself. And after that, Lena could divorce her husband, and Lena and Jinjin become a better, they could solve all the problems. So as we saw in the four sections, we have these kind of problematic situations, and after all the problems that they could pass through, they could solve it and become a very united. The significance of this title, the Yoga Club, is based on the fact that all the characters to whom we are introduced could use some joy and luck in their lives. So in addition to Joan, who was the, who was a member of this club and also the founder, she brought much peace to her life even in a time of war. Yes. So finally, in my opinion, I can say that I found this story very catching and inspiring because we can reflect on many aspects of the post war era and the immigrants in USA, and also we can reflect on many aspects of uh, their relationships. Yes, their mother and daughter relationships. So yes, I found it very interesting.